up into heaven, and even though this is something Fnatic are having to bear in mind, their attention is divided across all sides of the map. Crim's putting up a double, getting spammed down, and he'll get finished off by Rush. It's gonna be the side of Complexity picking this one up, locking in a victory here, and securing Mirage.
That's got to feel good for Cole, right? Like that game for a second, Harry, it felt like Fnatic might have been pushing it over the line into another OT, but not going to be the case, not going to be Fnatic's today. But Mirage, well, that's a whole new map. It's a whole new chance for either side to take this over the line. That being said, though, we look at Fnatic, you know, recently on Mirage as a map, and they've been having a bit of a rough time there. So Complexity, who have clearly been grinding their online games as of late, are looking at hot to trot, and they want to take us the distance. So Complexity versus Fnatic on Mirage in just a moment. Join us after the break.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive. Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back working from home, and here. Depends. Are you going to want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you going to be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're going to want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
When you walk, you don't play legs certain. You been running through my mind all day. Shit, it's never enough. You ain't gonna find nobody special, treat you better enough. Yeah, you better catch your blessings. You got a hold of my heart, and now she got me arrested. In other words, say you all mine. Yeah, basically, I think she's so fine. First thing in the morning, gotta get it. Afternoon delight, gotta get it. At summertime in the morning, gotta get it, gotta get it. She's so fine. Yeah, I love the way that dress is the floor. And she's all mine. And I just gotta get it. I just gotta get it. I just gotta get it. Oh, gotta get it. Baby, please don't leave. I never lied, you gotta believe me. That other girl was just a friend. Why you think I gotta pretend? I mean your waist and your hips and your thighs and your lips. Don't you think I wanna commit? Yeah. Your body on another level. And when you turn me on, yeah, you little devil. And I ain't going nowhere without you. I can see me moving on, going nowhere without you. I wanna go downtown. Have it going round, round. Say my name one time. People call it a dream. I call it being alive. Yeah. First thing in the morning, gotta get it. Afternoon delight, gotta get it. At summertime in the morning, gotta get it, gotta get it. She's so fine. Yeah, I love the way that dress is the floor. remember days that we spent. I remember time that we made, I'm thinking on the day that we met. Hope you know I'm glad that we waited. Can't forget those walks in the cold, long drives into nowhere. Tell me how it
I can't always guarantee you these things. I can't always promise you these things. But if there's one thing I could rest assured on, it's the fact that over time, most likely in every scenario of every best of 3 that I'm going to see this year, and especially in this one, 19 to 17 complexity, really getting it done here on the second map of Nuke. Of course, we couldn't go without the knives. We couldn't go without some of the flashy stuff from the Fnatic side as they do find themselves going to Mirage in the third and final decider. I want to bring it back here, centralized and focused on the desk. That is including my friends Matthew and Christine. We're ready to talk a little bit of counter. Christine, let's talk about this complexity team.
Yeah, let's talk about him. I mean, my gosh, Config. He just showed up right at the perfect moment to just say, you know, I'm not going to let my team lose this round. And then having Poison showing up, especially in the OT. You know, I think Poison had more scout kills in this series so far instead of the AWP. And then he finally stepped up. He finally showed up and started closing out those rounds. But I got to say, Fnatic, I mean, there were so many moments in this Nuke game where they actually were postured and positioned to run away with this map, multiple 2v5s. Think about that pistol where Config, just heroic moments. But let's be honest, Fnatic, they should have been able to convert that. They should have been able to close that one out. And Brolan, I mean, he did so much work for Fnatic in that upper yard, just trying to hold down the fort. But it's one of those things where Fnatic, once again, having those same issues where their teamwork, it's not connecting at the end of the day.
It's the config and oboe show is what we're seeing. Maniac, I look at this and I think, okay, how many times did you see someone get smoked outside through the smoke? I'm just curious because it just seemed like a back and forth trading affair. The smoke seemingly had almost no impact from time to time. Talk to me a little about what you saw in this matchup, Maniac.
I thought you were going to ask me about seeing through smokes. I really didn't know how to measure that one.
Can you see through smokes?
No, I cannot, unfortunately. That was a problem we had earlier in the days of Counter-Strike, so I cannot. But listen, back to the game, I think there was a difference in terms of like mastery of the map. Definitely Complexity knows the map a little bit better. They're more used to it. Their protocols are better. Because even though the score is very close and very tight, Fnatic's way of winning rounds was through brute force, through Broly, pick up outside, just rushing, flusher jumping down main, Golden coming in mini again. Whereas Complexity, they were more in control. And I think this echoes what Christian said. Fnatic, they lost a few rounds they shouldn't have. This is what happens when you're not really comfortable with the maps and situations just slip out of your hands. The problem is for Complexity, when you move over to Mirage, that is finito. That is done. Bye-bye. Adios. No more problem for Fnatic like that.
So it looks like that's already been decided in Maniac's mind. Now, Christina, I look at you and you have this sort of smirk about you that tells me you might differ.
You know, I do differ. I think Fnatic's whole game plan on Mirage is very Crims dependent and Flusha double opping towards that B. But speaking a little bit about Crims, he's a very cerebral player and his aim, I don't think it's completely back yet. So I think if he has a good game towards that connector on Mirage, sure, Fnatic, they're going to be postured, but I don't think BlameF is going to let that happen. He's not going to let Crims take a moment to even breathe towards that connector. So I still have full confidence in this Complexity squad.
Okay. And you know, Maniac, I look at that. What do you have to say in the inverse? What's on the other side of that?
First of all, I didn't know that we could touch the sacred institution that is Creams. Okay, apparently everything is on the line now. We can criticize Creams. It's insane. No, listen, I agree. Creams has been a little bit quiet, but the problem is there's another one named Brolan that actually is an absolute machine on the A side. He will just rain absolute chaos on that A ramp, the A apps, and if on the side of Complexity the flashes aren't good, the smokes aren't good, that's going to be it. Brolan in the face.
And that's all it takes. Christine, I would love to know just a little bit more in detail here of just how Complexity can do it, but I would much rather see them do it in the server. So we're going to look at a break, we're going to come back, and we're going to settle this series. One of the first playoff games here of the DreamHack Master Spring 2020.
To the call and the cops, cause we pack them in. Let my rap begin, then I move like a fuse when it's crackling. No eagle trip or loaded clip, no keys to flip or bones to pick. Undefiled and it's fresh, cause it gets volatile with finesse. Hip hop style at its best. When I go up to my act, the place shakes till the roof is cracked. Make the DJ move collapse. So when I'm done, get moving fast. Front to back, inside to side, it's wall to wall, and it's happening live. But man, I ain't tripping if you should leave. I understand if you need a little room to breathe. Jam pack, we're gonna light the fuse. Stand back, we ain't trying to lose. Jam pack, we're gonna light the fuse. Stand back, we ain't trying to lose. One more time, break it down now. Woo! Give me the mats. Countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna light the fuse. We ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Come on, we ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Come on, we ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Woo! Seems so far away. Now I'm out of my mind, watching time go by, and I can't live another day. Falling through the cracks in the pavement, life won't pass me by. Gonna make you notice. Gonna make you notice me. Gonna make you notice. Gonna make you notice me. I won't be left behind. I'm gonna stand up.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It's DreamHack Masters, and we're in the playoffs, a whole week of Counter-Strike. Of course, you haven't had enough here in the last few months, but we're here bringing more, and we're bringing complexity, taking on Fnatic. A third map, Harry, it's Mirage. What are you feeling? What are you expecting coming into this final map?
Well, you know, I think thus far, right, we've seen some good things from either team. I think that the fact that, right, we have players like Config looking really good back on Nuke. We had BlameF and Poison coming alive, really, I think, across both maps thus far. I want to keep seeing more from Poison, right? I feel like when you see him in the server and you feel him with the AWP, you really know his presence. But there's just times where he can go a little bit quiet. Luckily enough, I think, though, JW kind of falls into that same category right now, right? So I want to see more from either of the AWPs heading into this third map. And honestly, Hugo, if you want to ask me for predictions, I don't know where to put my money on this one. I kind of agree with Betway in that this has just been such a back and forth series, such a 50-50 affair. Maybe I would edge it to Fnatic ever so slightly just because they are able to get Nuke to OT, right? They get it so close. But man, I really don't know. Like, either team deserves it at this point. And this is a very, very fast pistol round here from Complexity. They barrel down through mid. They get BlameF up through the connector. The bomb's going down, and it's a 5v5 retake in the A bomb site.
Yeah, by design for Fnatic, maybe they weren't expecting these positions, but now they've got to deal with them on the retake. Crim's a quick kill, but there's another man in con that Golden makes quick work off from the flank. This is lovely for Fnatic. They're winning every single battle, and it's not going to be much on Complexity's side to stop them. Plant does come through, which will provide money, but that is all that Complexity have, and Fnatic have even more, keeping players alive even with untouched armor too in JW and Golden. So easy upgrades. Head armor is cheap, and rifles can follow that. That's always, you know, the dream of anyone winning a CT-sided pistol round is just getting away, or any pistol round, getting away with 100 Kevlar after the fact. Worth noting, right, we saw Complexity run an 8-win streak on Nuke, now extended to 9 after that victory. Fnatic on Mirage, they're on a 5-loss streak, and so that's something that is not good to read, you know, as of late in 2020 for this team. So let's hope that doesn't hold them back, because not really the most competitive games either, and the majority of these versus, you know, top-tier opposition. So right now, Cole forcing in the second round, they want to put a stop to this Fnatic economy while they can.
They'll tiptoe round and they'll set up outside of the A bomb site, but bear in mind, Flusher playing close to ramp here on the other side. He's actually pushed up and into it now. How much can he get away with in this position? Flash goes in, but Flash is not blind from it. It's a little too shallow to blind him, and so he gets away with 2 kills, now calling for the rotation as well. Crims is playing this position back towards CT with the hope that he can just duck out once he gets his first bit of contact. One plant looking to come through, and Golden is not able to deny it. Crims has been bested as well, but JW does rear his head up from CT and leaves this in the advantage of Fnatic. Config followed up onto, and it's Blame F with this hero AK in a 1v3. Not going to happen today as Brolin sticks the defuse. Fnatic, they will get that conversion on the board, but a bomb plant for Complexity and a bit of damage done does leave them with the option to partial buy around this AK, right? Still have a pretty good chance in this round with armor, with pistols upgraded, and then get away with a buy heading into round number 4.
Yeah, I mean, Golden tries to spam the smoke to stop the plant, but unfortunately isn't able to. I don't think I can name a player better at successfully doing that than Flusher. Obviously, he's on the ramp, so he dies early, he gets away with 2. Great work, but you know, this guy is so good at stopping bomb plants in the A site. Any wide plants, right? Reverse default in front of triple, backside triple. Flusher knows it, and he's gonna shoot the smoke if he's jungle. So that's always a scary one. Golden won't stop it, but the defuse comes in anyway, like you said, and Fnatic at least starting this map off strong. Both teams on this map, if you look at the numbers, are 51-49 in percentage to the CT side. So very, very close and very, very similar. It means we should certainly have a competitive game on our hands. Complexity, they make these rounds close, but close doesn't cut it. And now an eco will have to do, as Blame has this saved AK, pistols around it. We've certainly seen rounds like this being won by either team across the series. So let's see what Blame could accomplish. Config doesn't realize there's 2 players, and the repeat combined with the grenade will send him flying. Flusher, oh my, he's just balls of steel, climbs up the ladder looking at Poison and shoots him in the face once he reaches the balcony. Fnatic, ooh, they may lose Brolin, but surely this is still their round.
You'd think so. Blame F's AK maybe looks to...
okay.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it just goes exactly as we think it will. Fnatic, they'll go 3-0 up. And now we have this buy round coming on in. Poison, critically as well, has enough to get an AWP with armor behind it. So we get to see that nice and early here for Complexity. JW not going to be donning his on the other side, and so there's a chance at a free upgrade for Fnatic in that sense. Poison tries to come in with the ramp peak, and someone does run the gauntlet. Flush is able to get on by. Lots of mid-aggression here from Fnatic. They are keen to take these fights. And while Blame getting that trade, putting it back into a 4-on-4. And while all this has been going on, while Fnatic have shown this heavy mid presence, they sneak out into the A site on the Complexity side, but it might be to their dismay. Golden and Flusher, they've dealt with this push amicably, and Flusher's looking for even more. Now, will he be ready for rush close? No. He's given that kill away, and with it, a 2-on-2. Complexity, they were needing Fnatic to give them a trade over, and that is exactly what's provided. Now with 1 minute and 5 seconds left, the time's in their favor. A 2-on-2 leans favorably to them as well, and so they're just going to sit back and wait. They're going to make Fnatic work for this information, for anything to go off of.
Yeah, and while this looks like a problem right now for Fnatic, it could actually be a prize. It could win them the round because this flank from Golden is so well timed, and Blame starts throwing utility right as Golden gets into position. Golden, he's going to pull his knife out and run. He is safe on this flank, and Complexity, as long as they don't kill Brolin on short, who is going to remain alive thanks to the con smoke, just keeping their attention and allowing Golden to go all the way round. He goes Palace as well. This will take longer, but will have better results. And with Complexity planting on the other side of Triple, maybe it's not the plant that Golden wanted, but still fights available. Man in the connector, caught by Rush. Golden has the info on one, and he does rid him of the round as well. Does he know Blame is not playing the bomb? He's on the other side, and that's going to provide a lot of question marks for Golden on where this final player is. I think he's realized the plant as well. That should make him think jungle, and you can see him looking away as Blame goes out for the fight. I like that from Blame. He doesn't wait on the tap. He gets the info. He knows Golden's in the site panicking, and he just swings out and kills him. So yeah, you could see that realization for Golden, certainly, that like, oh wait, he's not planted where I think he's planted. Where could he possibly be? And yeah, maybe Flusha making the crucial error of pushing ramp there at the worst possible time. He obviously misses a very unlucky timing where he looks away from ramp and Rush crosses into the left corner, but it will win Cole their first round, getting them on the board nice and early.
Yeah, it's always upsetting to have it slip through your fingers like that, right? You know that, you know, it's like one of those deaths where in hindsight you're like, man, why did I push ramp? Like, why did that happen? And now for Fnatic, they have to try and bounce back. Luckily for them, they still have money, and this A site might have fallen, but Fnatic, they kind of set up for this. They were playing retake. Poison gets flashed through though. He's sick and tired of waiting around, and we'll get one kill, but that is it before he's traded. So now we're into this 4-on-4. And this is where Fnatic are going to slow things down, albeit briefly. They're going to recompose and get back into this one now on the retake. There's an ult for Golden that he could look to pick up. Flusha in through CT, gets that trade onto Config, and taps the bomb to try and bait these peaks, but they still haven't dealt with all the players in this site. Obo's popping off. Ooh, he gets 3.
I was going to say, any damaging grenades there for Fnatic would have been excellent, because they could have caught Obo at the back of the site, like 10 health, tucked in, hiding, and, you know, Molly and HG, that could win Fnatic the round there, but, well, quite literally is the opposite of that, is that undoing, as Obo on 10 health locks in 3 kills in the post-plant. Excellent work. How does he kill Crims? He doesn't even see him. He just shoots him through the pillar, and, yeah, he'll take it. Flusha has more kills on Mirage than Obo has career kills. I don't see, that sounds like it's crazy, but it really shouldn't be crazy. Like that makes a lot of sense. Flusha, he's played his fair share of Counter-Strike carry. I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to meet someone who disagrees, right? Like, because just objectively, you're wrong. But yeah, you know, I always find those stats interesting though, right? Because it just shows like just how long a guy like Flusha has been around on these top levels. And it also is an exciting prospect because you look at someone like Obo and he's able to consistently go toe-to-toe with the best, it feels like. So
yeah.
Now we look into this round and there's just no money for